Hey, this is Amy from Real English Conversations, and today we're going to be sharing our personal story with you guys and why we decided to start Real English Conversations. For the English tip, we've got some fun exaggeration expressions that we're going to share with you guys.
Welcome to realenglishconversations.com,
the podcast where you can study the art of real English conversation while listening to fun and interesting topics.
Hey everybody, it's Curtis and Amy from Real English Conversations, and today we're going to talk about our personal story and why we're doing this podcast, right?
Yeah, definitely. And just how languages overall and learning a language has actually had a major influence in shaping our personal dreams for what we would like to achieve in the near future, right?
Exactly. So Amy and I met about 12 years ago, and then after about a year and a half of dating, we moved in together and bought a cat.
Yeah.
Adopted a cat.
That's an important part of our story. We now have 3 cats, so we're like a family of 5 here. And then about 10 years ago, I'd say, we had a crazy idea that we wanted to start a business.
Right. And that was a delivery business. We had 2 cars and we thought, well, what can we do with 2 cars?
Because we didn't have any money. I remember I was 21 at the time, so I remember, I had a car and I think I had a credit limit on my credit card of $500 or something like that. And that was literally it. I was working in a restaurant. What were you doing?
I was working at a local hotel at the time, and we both decided, let's see what we can do.
So we started the business from absolutely nothing, literally. Maybe over the course of about 6 months, we managed to build up the business, and I remember I reduced my job back to part-time hours, and I think after a year of our business, you were completely full-time with it, right?
I was. We started the business and didn't really think it through thoroughly.
We had no experience with business, so we just we were winging it.
We were working 7 days a week. We had no days off.
Right, so we couldn't do anything we wanted to do. Everybody likes a day off, right? For us, it wasn't an option. We were just a small business, no employees. It was more like a self-created job, right?
Yeah, just the 2 of us, 7 days a week. Okay, so what happened the one time that you went to the beach with your friend?
So I was hanging out at the beach with my friend, and she was telling me about a vacation that her and her husband were going to go on in the springtime. And she said, Amy, you've got to come traveling. You should come with us.
At that point in time, we didn't think that was right.
No, because we were used to working 7 days a week. So anyway, after a lot of convincing, about 3 months, I finally agreed to this vacation. And what it was a cruise. And it started in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And this is actually, they speak Spanish on this island, right? It's part of the United States, but they speak Spanish here. And we ended up staying for a couple days after the cruise in that island.
So I think this is where the interest of learning Spanish really started for you.
Yeah, because when I was in high school, I took Spanish for 4 years, but I didn't even think to brush up on my Spanish before we went on that trip. It didn't even occur to me. So I think when we came back, though, it was a different friend of ours. She was talking about this awesome trip that she had to Costa Rica, right?
She'd been there and said that it was just beautiful and the culture was amazing.
So I decided, we're going to go to Costa Rica next, but this is a Spanish-speaking country. We're not going to be doing a tour guided, I can just be a English speaker in another country and everything will be fine. I wanted to start studying Spanish.
And I think after going on that cruise, we wanted more culture.
We did.
Wanted to get involved in that.
I'll never go on a cruise again. It's about the furthest thing from culture that exists.
I get seasick, so it's not a big interest to me.
No, you were very sick. So I remember I was studying, I don't know, there was some sort of resource that I was using online, some website, and I was listening to audios and pretty much just listening to audio and learning vocabulary. And when we arrived to Costa Rica and we had to stop and get gas, do you remember?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That was my wake-up call.
Yeah, understanding the quick response coming back.
I didn't understand anything. Like, let's not even pretend.
No.
The gas attendant, I had to ask him where a certain road was. I think it was 3rd Street. And he ended up using just charades with me. Hand gestures, pointing. He had a little piece of paper. I remember him indicating, that there was train tracks that we had to cross. So he went, beep, beep, or choo choo. And that was about what studying only words and listening to Spanish. Mm-hmm. That is the result that I ended up with.
So at this point, I guess you were stuck at a beginner level for quite a long time.
I would say I've been stuck at a beginner level until about 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm. You got us around Costa Rica.
Yep. And again, our trip to Nicaragua. And we did a separate trip to Panama.
Yeah.
And then last year we went to Ecuador.
Yes.
Obviously, these are all Spanish-speaking countries. And I actually experienced something that was really, really important when somebody is learning a language through each one of these experiences. And that was being in a situation where my native language was not an option, and I had to speak in a second language.
Almost like you were forced to.
There wasn't really another option. The people that we were talking to only spoke Spanish, so I had to use whatever Spanish I knew, no matter how small it was. But this feeling of needing this language in order to survive or to communicate is the feeling that I'm talking about. And I think it has played a really important role in your progression with Spanish since you experienced it for the first time, which was where?
In our kitchen about 2 or 3 months ago.
This is because we decided to do an experiment where in our house we only spoke Spanish because honestly nothing else was working for you.
No.
And it actually surprised me that this did.
Yeah, I had no other option but to figure out the words and how they were connected just to communicate with you.
And then using them every day developed a automatic, natural kind of memorization. You were being exposed to it from what I was saying to you. It's actually the ideal immersion environment because it's not full immersion,
right?
But, kind of practice between the two of us.
So obviously we both love traveling and we love culture. And
I love practicing the little bit of Spanish that I knew.
Yeah, it's really cool to practice it there in a native speaking country.
It makes the experience 100 times better than traveling to a country when you don't know a single word of the language. It's like night and day.
So you came home one day and you had this crazy idea. Well, I guess it's not crazy to us now, but
it's crazy to everybody that we've ever told that knows us, so it's a crazy idea.
And what it was, okay, we like to travel, but
we never want to leave.
No, it's very sad leaving. So we thought, why don't we take that one step further and make it our dream to live in a Spanish-speaking country? So
we both decided that having an online business would be the best thing. We had an opportunity 2 years ago. What was that?
Well, we met a business partner who got us involved in an online business.
Yeah, one that we could work anywhere in the world.
Right, and that was exactly what we were going for. That was the idea. And basically, long story short, things didn't work out.
We just got the business to a profitable point. Everything was going well, but the relationship with our business partner didn't end up going so well.
No.
So we found ourselves back at square one.
What are we going to do? We have to find something that's still online based.
Yeah, square one is like we had nothing going.
Back to the beginning.
Back to zero.
So the good thing about starting from absolutely nothing...
We didn't have other businesses clouding our creativity at that point. So
right.
It was more of a, well, what do we want to do?
Yeah, and at this point, this is where you became really obsessed with learning Spanish.
Yeah, you're right. That was the point where I started to become absolutely obsessed with it. I studied a little bit harder, textbook studying mostly, and I convinced myself that I was at the point to start having conversation exchanges and start talking to people. And this is the point where I realized that what you learn in a textbook versus what people actually use in conversation are two completely different things. So I started paying attention to the words, phrases, and expressions that were coming from conversation and putting even more emphasis on that type of vocabulary, which was actually the right type of language I was supposed to be studying, the right words.
Right, and I've noticed a very fast progression with you.
Yeah?
From, what was a high beginner level to a high advanced in a very short amount of time. Mm-hmm. Because you've got a lot of interesting techniques. Yeah,
and Curtis knows firsthand now about my techniques because I'm making him use them. And the progression that he's actually seen within his language learning, you pretty much were going from nothing.
Yeah, not a thing to...
being able to communicate. Like, you're still learning some new tenses and stuff like that, but you're actually learning it in a much more natural way. Mm-hmm. And building your vocabulary on the right words that people use in conversation. This
right.
is the key.
The key is to focus on the right things.
The right things. So I guess this is the website that we're hoping is going to be the thing that allows us to live in another country, to practice the language that we're learning, and being able to live within that culture very comfortably, because you need to have that in order to have that experience when you're living in another country. You can't just hide in your native language.
A bubble, I guess you could say.
Yeah, your own little bubble. So anyway, we hope to be able to fulfill this dream and this goal that we have by helping other people like you guys be able to reach your goals with learning English, and we just really appreciate your support.
What I would really like to see is you guys come to our Facebook page, for example, and leave a comment. We're on Twitter, we're on Google+. Send us an email. Let us know your story. We're really interested in hearing from you.
Come to our website and send us an email just to say hello. What I love to hear more than anything is why people have decided to learn a language.
Right.
I think people that are learning languages are just so cool, and it's so inspirational hearing why and what influences people to take on this adventure. So come to our website, realenglishconversations.com.
We've got all our social media links right there for you, and we've got the Real English Tip coming up.
Real English Conversational Tip.
Okay, for today's Real English Tip, we're going to give you some examples of what is called exaggerations.
Yeah, so this is when you're just wanting to emphasize something, whether it's good or bad. Generally, it's kind of used for complaining, but complaining in, like a fun way. So if there's a whole bunch of people in an area, like more than normal, it's very crowded, what would you say?
I would say, wow, it seems like everybody in the world is here right now.
Yeah, or you might hear, wow, it's like everyone and their dog is here. Or another example is, wow, there's like 1 million people here. Yeah, exactly. And if something seems to be taking a really long time, what do you say?
Man, this is taking forever.
Yeah, it felt like it was taking forever. Whatever. You really got to drag out that forever, just like that.
And these exaggerations can be used for how warm it is outside and stuff too, right?
Yeah. So in our city in particular, the weather in the summertime is very hot. We actually live in a semi-desert area, so the climate is very dry and very hot. So what do we say?
So I might say, it's so hot out, I feel like I'm going to melt.
Yeah. Or yesterday, I was in the kitchen, and it's just starting to be summertime here, so the sun is a little bit warmer than normal coming in through the window. And I said, man, it's like 100 degrees in here. Like, obviously it wasn't. You know, we are in Canada where we use Celsius, you know, so it was maybe 27 degrees or something, but it was warmer than what was comfortable in the house. So I had to actually turn on the air conditioner.
Or you could say, if it's really hot outside, wow, it's like 1,000,000 degrees out. But that's if it's super unbearable.
Yeah,
really
1,000,000
hot.
degrees is like really, really hot. Like, you can't spend any time outside. Clearly it's not possible, but it's an exaggeration. And if it's really cold outside, I know, like, if I've had to spend some time outside and I'm cold,
Yeah.
I might say, oh, I'm freezing to death.
Or, I think I'm going to turn into a popsicle.
I've got to come inside. Yeah. So there's a few exaggeration expressions for you guys. Hopefully you can find one that you can use tomorrow or today and practice it. So like we already said in the podcast today, in today's episode, we really want to hear from you guys. You know, you might feel like you're just some random girl or guy listening to this podcast, and that's great. As long as you're enjoying our podcast, you're downloading it, it's helping you, that's awesome. But just so you know, if you take a minute and follow one of the links that is in the show notes for this episode, or come to our website and find our Twitter page, Facebook, you know, YouTube channel, anything.
Even send us an email.
Just know that you are actually going to be making a positive difference in my day. Like, when I get an email from you guys, I am really, really excited about it. So, you know, our email address directly is contact@realenglishconversations.com, or you can come to our website, realenglishconversations.com.
We'll see you guys next time.
If you've enjoyed this video, please take a moment and hit the like button to show your support for us. We'd also like to see you subscribe to our channel. There's a link either below the video, or you can click on the subscribe button at the top right-hand corner of this video. We'd love to hear your questions or comments about this episode. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below this video. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.